All right, we are live. Bear with me. Let's get some people rolling up in here. I just kind of done this. Wanted to do this live stream at the spur of the moment because this topic was just on my mind, right? And Chief X, the God best reincarnated, with this common sense science. So let me get set up. Hold on. What's up, Donnie Williams? Can you hear me well, Donnie? Hey, that homegirl, Rashonda. Hey, sweetheart. Y'all can hear me good. Hit number 8. Okay, yes, sir. You said you can hear me good. Okay. All right, all right, all right. So I'm not playing no music today. This is not gonna be no long, drawn out presentation. Um, I just wanted to give a little common sense science, right? That's a phrase I coined some years ago. I used to have a Facebook group called Common Sense Science, right? And we're not gonna be long today, but we're gonna be strong, right? Um, um, I'm going to drop the link. Let me just do a quick little presentation. I'm going to drop the link. He said, what's up, armchair philosopher? So, the cyber village chief, that's exactly what I am. I'm a village chief, right? I'm spanking my subjects. Yes, sir. So, I didn't want to play no music and be here all day and, you know, but I did want to wait at least 3 minutes for some people to come in. Chris Connors, I be seeing your comments. So, before I get started, Sheffrin, I think you need to get back on your game and start doing some more live streams. I said, let me get back to my lane, right? Let me get back in my zone, right? And do my thing, right? I had stopped kind of live streaming for a while, and I was giving attention and energy to other places and shit. I said, you know what? Why am I giving my energy to 10 niggas in a motherfucking Discord who nobody fucking knows? Right? I was gonna go in, but I said let me stop. But anyway, um, wasting my goddamn time and energy with fucking peons that nobody knows. So, Chef, I think you should get back in your zone, get your motherfucking YouTube channel back crapping, get your shit out of the clutches and the jaws of Tri Media, whatever they call themselves now. They can barely get over fucking 50 views on on Tri Media channel. Uh, 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 get up out them clutches. I thought somebody was gonna produce your shit and you was gonna have nice production and you was gonna start getting views. Nah, 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 nah. That shit brought your shit down. Get the fuck up out that shit. Get back on your channel and get to doing presentations. You was growing, right? And then just start falling off. So let's go. All right. So check this out. This video presentation is more so some common sense science. We're going to use some basic fucking logic and common sense. The title says Challenge to Jabari. Jabari Osase. Why did Arabs enslave Nubians, Kushites, and not Egyptians? Why would Arabs invade with an army of 4,000 people and change the political structure of ancient Egypt and turned them into Muslims, and they began to embrace Islam. Then later, they surpass the Egyptians and go all the way south to begin to enslave Nubians, which, by the way, jumped off the Arab slave trade, aka the Trans Saharan Slave Trade. Nubians jumped that shit off. Why didn't Egyptians? Why weren't the Egyptians the progenitor of the Arab slave trade? Ask yourself this: why weren't the Egyptians the progenitor of the Trans Saharan slave trade? Huh? Think about that. The Kushites, aka Nubians, are considered black folk. Arab slave trade, the Trans Saharan slave trade, was grabbing slaves from down south, sub Saharan Africa. Now, some people consider Sudan, the land where the Kushites were, to be part of North Africa. Fine. It's listed as North Africa. It's also listed as East Africa. But when you see it on a map, it'll always be highlighted a different color than the rest of sub-Saharan Africa. Why? Out of all the North African countries, if you want to place Sudan there, they're the only country or region that got enslaved by the Arabs. Everybody else got converted to Islam and they did business throughout the Mediterranean or Mediterranean Africa, aka North Africa, and the Mediterranean Sea. But the only group, if you consider Sudan to be part of North Africa, to be enslaved in what you call North Africa, is the Nubians. So we're going to use some common sense science and some logic here today. And this is a challenge to Jabari Osase. I need him to answer this question and use logic. Do not manipulate my words. Do not take what I'm saying and presenting out of context. Keep it plain and right there. So let's just start with by saying that Egyptians has always, Dr. Banu, I knew somebody's going to be on point. Right? So Egyptians have always had issue or considered Nubians or Kushites their enemies. Nubia, Kushites paid tribute to the Egyptians. Paying tribute means, let's just get this out the way real quick. Hold on. Let's just define this real quick. Hold on, y'all. This is just give you an understanding of what we're about to talk about. So, let me share my screen. Bam. Share my screen. Bam. Share my screen. Bam. The entire screen. Yep. Also share system audio. Yep. Bam. Here we go. Got it. All right. Let's do this. Let's define what a tributary state is. I hope you guys can see. Let me make it a little bigger. Nubia, now called Sudan, or the Kushites, were a tributary state towards Egypt which was the dominant superior state. Okay, what about a tributary state, Chief X? Let's define it. A tributary state is a pre-modern. That's what we're talking about. A pre-modern state. We're talking about ancient Egypt and Nubia. A tributary state is a pre-modern state in a particular type of what? Subordinate relationship. Who are they in a subordinate relationship to? They're in a subordinate relationship to a more powerful state, like I said, which involve the sending of regular tokens of alliance or tribute to what? Superior power. Understand this. Now, this token often took the form of substantial transfer of wealth, such as the delivery of produce or slaves. The delivery of what, Chief X? The delivery of gold, common sense science, or slaves, so that a tribute best be seen as a payment of protection money. Remember that, what I said. Protection money. Paying tribute, in other words, give us this motherfucking gold in these slaves, or we will whoop your motherfucking ass. So in order to not get your ass whooped and beat, guess what you do? Give up what they asked for. Gold and slaves. This is what a tributary state is. Listen and remember the wording of what I'm talking about. Now, now, how do I want to lay this so I won't be long and get out of here? Okay. Nubia, the Kushites, during Arab rule of Egypt, listen to my words. Nubia, a.k.a. Kushites, during Arab rule of Egypt, Nubia and Kushites became Christian nations. They got it from the Christian Copts in in Egypt. But guess what? When the Arabs invaded Egypt, although Muslims should not enslave Muslims, they enslaved Christians, aka Nubians and Kushites. But they didn't enslave Egyptian Christians or the Copts. Common sense science. Let's talk about it. Real quick, we're going to sew this up real quick. I just spoke on tributary states. I didn't know this was saying this, but since it is, it's just backing what I said. Okay? The Islamic conquest, the 7th century Arab conquest of North Africa, integrated these existing routes into what? Larger Islamic systems, with Nubia becoming a source of what? Tribute. What? Including slaves under a treaty. What treaty was this? Let's talk about it. The treaty was the Bact Treaty, right? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But look, Christian Nubia and Muslim Egypt signed a treaty. The treaty was, not only did they have these treaties in ancient times, thousands of years before Arabs invaded Egypt, they had it after Arabs invaded Egypt. It was known, the treaty known as Bact. Let's blow this up so we can all see and be clear. The treaty known as the Bact Treaty. right? The back treaty, I want to get all this in here, marked a significant diplomatic agreement between Christian Nubia and Muslim Egypt during the early medieval period. Nubia, stretching along the Nile from modern day Aswan, remember that, in Egypt to Khartoum in Sudan, was home to flourishing Christian cultures across three kingdoms, Nabatea, Makuria, and Alodia, following the Arab conquest of Egypt in the 7th century. Hostiles arose between the newly established Islamic forces and Christian Nubians who had previously held power over Upper Egypt. Right? um, this treaty established territorial rights and stipulated annual exchanges of goods, including what? Slaves. Nubia had to bring Arabs 400 slaves a year in order for the Arabs not to whoop their ass. They didn't require the Copts to bring them slaves. They didn't enslave the Copts, they enslaved Nubians. Why did they enslave black folk and not people of Caucasoid stock? The treaty fostered a period of relative peace and stability, allowing Nubia to thrive and maintain its distinctive culture. Distinctive! The back treaty also included provisions for the protection of travelers and the return of runaway slaves, right? So the back treaty was about Kushites, a.k.a. Nubians, paying tribute to Arabs who took over Egypt in order to keep peace. In other words, they got punked. Arabs and Egyptians, aka North Africans, punked black Nubians. This is in the period from 700 to 1400. Listen to me. The area is called Makuria, which is all the way down Makuria, all the way down past the third cataract by the fourth and fifth cataract, way down there past Aswan, Kushite land. They went all the way down here to get these black folk and passed up all them white folk in Egypt. Okay? Follow me. Now, what was Makuria? It was a medieval Nubian kingdom in what today is northern Sudan and southern Egypt, the capital Dongola, right? Where is it? Like I said, halfway between the third and the fourth Nile cataract, way down there. Now, after the Kushites got their ass whooped and ran up out of Egypt, look, coming to being after the collapse of the kingdom of Kush in the 4th century, it originally covered Nile Valley from Third Cataract somewhere. Okay, that's not what. But I just wanted to get you the understanding of where it was. In 1651, an Arab army invaded but was not repulsed, and a treaty known as what? The Back Treaty, like I said, was signed. Why? To prevent further Arab invasions in exchange for 360 slaves a year. Some say 450 a year. But in order, what? To prevent further Arab invasions, meaning to prevent us from kicking your ass, you give us 360 slaves a year. And this treaty lasted until the 1300th century. The Arab slave trade, the Trans Saharan Slave Trade, was from 700 to 1400. They're telling you right here. Now, why This is way 1,000 years before that. And what does it say? Slavery in ancient Egypt, labor, loyalty, and a beneath life beneath the pharaohs. And when it talks about slavery, they show this image of Nubians. Then they go even further to show this image of Nubians being enslaved by North Africans, aka Egyptians, who are not black folk. Are you with me so far? We're going to be done in about 20 minutes. I'm about to wrap it up. Okay? Now that we understand and we've shown and we've seen this, check this out. Now, not only in these times, prove that they were slaves in ancient Egypt, Chief X. Okay. Let's go to the what? Nubian tribute scene, where Nubians are paying tribute. In told you earlier, a tributary state is a state that pays tribute to a more powerful, dominant state that runs your motherfucking ass. We've seen that definition. Let's go. Here are Nubians in ancient times paying tribute to Egyptians who are not black. We're going to break all this down. You can tell Egyptians ain't black from this scene right here. Check this out. When you see these Nubians in the tribute scene, I don't know if you can see my arrow, but I'm waving it around Nubians on the left top corner. And you see the white thing around those in their neck? That is a rope, meaning they are in bondage. They're bonded and shackled up by their hands and their neck. And these are the slaves that are being brought to the Egyptians in this tributary scene. You see them? Now, before they got here, they were selling on this boat on the left, right here, shackled up on the left on a boat with ropes on their neck. You see them? Okay. They need slaves in gold, they says, right? So look at all this gold and shit they bringing them. Look at these Nubians right here bending down in the middle. Bending down, honoring and praising the Egyptian, the non-black. So this tribute scene is black folk bowing down to, bending a knee. You see them right here, like giving praise to their master, the dominant force. I'm not making this up. I'm breaking down this tributary scene. They're bringing trinkets, gold, animal skins, and everything to the Egyptians. Who are they paying tribute to in this scene? Let's look at the Caucasian man that they're bringing this to. Let's slide this over to the right. Bam! King Tut. You see this Caucasian man right here? King Tut. King Tut right here is who they paying tribute to. And you have a lady who's a fan bearer fanning him. This Caucasian here on the right. This Caucasian they paying tribute to is nothing like these folk right here. These black folk, a.k.a. negroids, are slaves and being given to this Caucasian King Tut. They're different. It's a difference. I need Jabari to answer to this specific thing. Why are these dark black folk on the right here riding, bringing animal skins and golds, and paying tribute to this Caucasian King Tut? Now, King Tut is part of the Armana family. The Armana family have been found to have their DNA come from West Asia. mtDNA K. Look it up. West Asia. These people DNA is not West Asian. Are we clear on this common sense science right now? I'm showing you primary evidence. Now, people be talking about Aswan and shit. Guess who the governor of Aswan is today? Oh, well, y'all think it's a part of Nubia, all of Nubia. No, this is the governor right now of Aswan. They pay tribute to him. Aswan is right there by the first cataract, a little above it. Caucasian folk has always run that area and had black folk running that gold. Now, let's break it down even further so we can get up out of here. Yes, the people of Kush, Nubia, Kushites, a.k.a. Nubians, were predominantly Christian during the Arab rule of Egypt, forming powerful Christian kingdoms like Macquarie, like I said. Right? Maintaining what? Their distinct Copt linked Christian faith for centuries after Egyptians fell to the Arabs. So, what were they maintaining? Their Coptic linked Christian faith, because that's who they got it from. Everything the Kushites, aka Nubians, did was from North African Egyptian influence. Are we clear? Now, let's move on and close this on out. Yes, Egyptians used Nubian slaves primarily for prisoners of wars, captured in conflicts, or acquired through trade. For what? Labor in construction, agriculture, and domestic service. Okay? Nubians were a significant, not a little bit, but a significant source of enslaved people. Now, real quick, when Arabs invaded, this is some common sense science I'm going to need Jabari to deal with. I need Jabari to deal with the common sense science and the fact that why would Arab people come into Egypt and 360 degrees around Arab people, they didn't call anybody else black? They didn't call Egyptians black. They didn't call no North Africans black. Why? Because they weren't black people. They weren't of negroid stock. The only people Arabs came in and conquered Egypt didn't say shit about black people or black land, but when they went down south, they called them people in Nubia and Kushites and Sudan black people in the black land. Because sub-Saharan Africa is the black land, Jabari Osase. You have to explain why he went past all them Egyptians with their traditional beliefs, past the Copts with their Christian beliefs, and went all the way down south past Aswan and called that the black land and nothing else. They didn't call Nigeria, they didn't call Algeria, Morocco, Tunisia, Libya. They didn't call none of that the black land. Show and prove, Chief X. Wait a minute. Why my shit ain't coming up? Okay, here we go. Show and prove, Chief X. Now, the name Sudan comes from the Arabic phrase Balal al Sudan. Sudan comes from the Arabic phrase Balal al Sudan, which means what? Land of the blacks. Why didn't he call Egypt land of the blacks? Common sense fucking tells you it wasn't a land full of black folk. They called it that. Why? They were referring to the dark skinned people of the vast Sahel region south of the Sahara, a name medieval geographers used for that area that is now modern Sudan and surrounding regions. Okay, there were no black dark people. They were dark, but not what we would consider black. Because black folk weren't in Egypt. I mean, they were in there, but let me just say this right, because people would take your words and take them out of context. They didn't consider Libyans, Moroccans, Tunisians, Algerians, West Asians, anybody surrounding them, Egyptians. None of these people were considered black. They all spoke Afro-Asiatic language together. People in sub-Saharan Africa did not. I'm sorry. Jabari, I need you to break the logic of this down. Who were they referring to, Jabari? They were referring to dark-skinned people of the vast Sahel region and south of the Sahara, a name Arab geographers used for the area that is now modern Sudan. Why? Key points about the name and origin. Arabic root Balal means land or country. Sudan is the plural word Aswan, meaning black or dark-skinned. They're talking about black folk. But you guys today got a problem with this word black. They've been calling niggas in sub-Saharan Africa black for thousands of years. Even the European called them Negroes. Negro means black. What's it? They're describing a people. They know they have a tribal name. They know they have a name that they call themselves. But saying black folk or these dark-skinned folk south of the Sahara is just a description about a group of people in different regions in sub-Saharan Africa. Calm the fuck down. I have no problem being considered a black man. I'm not ashamed of it just because the black folk was enslaved by the North Africans and the Egyptians and the Arabs. Okay? Not only that, the term was applied to a broad area of Africa, not just the modern country, and encompassing people from West to East Africa. I'm from West Africa. I don't know about you. No, I'm not from West Africa. Excuse me. Let me say this correct. My distant ancestors are from West and Central Africa. Ancient connections. Before the Arabic name, ancient Egyptians called the region Nubia, and the term Tanahisi, it also meant land of the blacks. Understand this common sense science I'm telling you right now. Not only did the Arabs call it land of the blacks, the Egyptians prior to the Arabs also called it Nahisi, which also meant land of the blacks. Uh-oh! We cooking. We cooking with Cape Buffalo tallow. Fuck cooking with fish grease. We cooking with beef tallow today. So the ancient Egyptians called these people south of them black folk. They didn't call themselves black folk because they knew they weren't black. Common sense science. While the name historically described a vast region, it now primarily refers to the country of Sudan in northeast Africa, reflecting its diverse black heritage. I'm sorry. So what it says is today it only refers to Sudan. But back in the day, it referred to the entirety of sub-Saharan Africa. You niggas have always been black folk, and it's okay. The Trans Saharan Slave Trade jumped off fucking with them black folk and Nubians. That's when it jumped off. Prove that shit. We're going to play this brief 5-6 minute video and we're out of fucking here. I just want to triple down on what I've been saying. What does this video say that we're about to look at real quick before we get out of here? The Trans Saharan Slave Trade. The silent treaty that started it. What treaty, Chief? What treaty? This treaty. The back treaty. Right here. The backed treaty. Are you following the chronology I'm kicking? The Trans-Saharan slave trade jumped off with these Nubian black folk and Kushites, and then it spread it west all the way to Morocco, all across the Sahara, all across North Africa. And they developed trade routes, and them North Africans, Berbers and Arabs, was always getting you niggas from sub-Saharan Africa. Jabari, I need you to respond to this video. I know you won't, but I just put your name in there because I know you won't respond. You've never responded to it. You're going to act like you didn't even see this, although you watch all my shit. You get a notification every time Chief X pop up. So let's go.
In 639 AD,
4 minutes, and I'm gonna cap it up in 2 minutes, and we're out of here.
The Arabs. In 639 AD, the Arabs, following Muhammad's death, invaded Africa starting with Egypt and the Near East. They tried to take over Nubia, now Sudan, which had 3 black Orthodox Christian kingdoms. The Nubians, known for being great...
Before I seen this video, I put this presentation together, then I clicked on it. I said, oh, shit. This video basically collaborates everything I fucking said in this few minutes we've been on here. Let's go.
Warriors fought back Orthodox Christian kingdoms. The Nubians, known for being great warriors, fought back hard. In one battle, the Nubian kingdom of Makuria defeated 2,000 Arabs. But the Arabs were getting stronger around the Mediterranean and were a big threat. Makuria realized they might be overpowered eventually. So in 642, they agreed to a peace deal called the Bact. They gave 360 slaves a year to the Arabs. The Bact. They gave 360 slaves a year to the Arabs, called the Bact. They gave 360 slaves a year to the Arabs.
They were paying tribute.
To stop the attacks. This deal is like...
To do what? To stop fucking us up, like I said.
What happened with slaves a year to the Arabs to stop the attacks. This deal is like what happened with Haiti. Haiti had to pay France a lot of money after winning their independence war, so France wouldn't attack them again. The Nubians, especially under King Zachariah and Georgios, tried hard to change or cancel the Bact agreement. The Bact started the Trans Saharan Slave Trade that's still going on. The Bact started the Trans Saharan Slave Trade that's still going on.
What'd I tell you? Trans Saharan slave trades was North Africans, Arabs, and Berbers fucking with sub-Saharan Africans and enslaving them. They weren't enslaving themselves because they weren't black. Common sense science.
And has led to 11 million Africans being enslaved. Trade that's still going on, and has led to 11 million Africans being enslaved. Here's what the agreement says. Article 1. The Emir Abd Allah ben Saad gives a treaty to the king of Nubia and all his people, including those from the Alwa borders. They must follow it. Article 2. Abdullah bin Saad promises them safety and a break from fighting.
In other words, we won't whoop your ass Bring us this motherfucking slave and go slaves and gold.
This makes them Abdullah bin Saad promises them safety and a break from fighting. This makes them allies with all Muslims, including those from Sa'id and other areas that pay tribute.
That do what?
All Muslims, including those from Sa'id and other areas that pay tribute.
They pay
Article 3.
tribute.
The treaty says that Nubians will be protected by God and the Prophet Muhammad. The Muslims won't attack or start a war with them and won't raid their land as long as the Nubians keep their part of the deal. Nubians will be protected by God and the Prophet Muhammad. The Muslims won't attack or start a war with them and won't raid their land as long as the Nubians keep their part of the deal.
Uh-oh.
The details are, when Nubians enter Muslim land, they can pass through but not stay. Muslims will also not stay in Nubian land. Nubians must protect and keep safe any Muslims or their allies in their land. If slaves owned by Muslims run away to Nubia, the Nubians shouldn't keep them. They should send them back to Muslim land. If a Muslim fighting against other Muslims seeks refuge in Nubia, he should be sent back too. The Nubians shouldn't support or help him. Article 4. You must take care of the mosque that Muslims built near your capital. Let anyone pray there without stopping them. If a Muslim comes to pray, don't bother them until they leave. You are responsible for keeping the mosque clean, the lights on, and making it look nice. Article 5. Every year, you must give 360 slaves, both men and women, to the Imam of the Muslims. These slaves should be the best from your country and healthy. Don't include very old men.
Like yesterday I was saying that people just think that when slaves was on the ship in the transatlantic slave trade, they was trying to fuck over these slaves. They didn't want to kill them, but sometimes you just get sick and had to throw some overboard. Some just got sick just because of the process. This is a long time ago, right? Them ships is not just equipped to keep people safe and shit like that. So they tried their best to keep these people healthy. If they wanted to bring a big old buck to the market, they wanted whoever was buying the slaves wanted these slaves to look good and be healthy. They didn't want to buy no beat up slave, no slave that was all malnutritioned and shit like that. Whoever was transporting slave had a fiduciary duty to keep the slaves healthy and fed. So when it comes to market time, those who financed it won't be pissed off at the ones who brought them. They used to beat what they will be pissed if those transporting slaves fucked up their cargo. This is something people don't really talk about, but it's true. And if it was even true in ancient times, as you see here.
These slaves should be the best from your country and healthy. Don't include very old men, old women, or kids under puberty. Give them to the governor of Aswan.
Up! Give them to the governor of Aswan. I showed you today's governor of Aswan. It hasn't changed. So the governor of Aswan was a pale Caucasian. Always.
If an enemy attacks you from Alwa to Aswan, Muslims don't have to fight against them or defend you. If you hide a runaway slave, hurt or kill a Muslim or an ally, damage the mosque near your capital, or keep any of the 360 slaves, the treaty ends. We won't protect you anymore, and we'll let God decide what happens. Article 6.
In other words, he said, if you don't continue bringing us slaves and gold and trinkets and shit, we're gonna start it up again, and we're gonna fuck you up.
We promise to stick to.
They wasn't gonna fuck up the Coptic Egyptians, the Christian Egyptians, or anybody in North Africa. No, no, no. They was just gonna convert them. But black folk, oh, they beating your ass.
This agreement. You have also promised, in front of a witness, to keep your part of the deal. You swear by what's holy in your religion, like the Messiah, apostles, and saints you respect. The back treaty stands as a monumental testament to the complexities of history, where power, diplomacy, and survival intertwined in the sands of Nubia and Egypt. It was not merely a document, but a living testament to the struggles and resilience of a people caught in the tides of change. This treaty, a blend of compromise and coercion, marked a.
So now, when you see these images, you'll see these black folk right here on the left. Then you see everybody else who is non-black. Everybody else, what you're seeing basically right here with this old drawing, I'm not sure if it's an ancient drawing or not. I think it more than likely probably is an ancient drawing. I don't know. But what you see is black folk on the left being enslaved, and everybody else you see is either Arabs or an Egyptian converted to to Islam. So you see and Egyptians and Arabs enslaving black folk. The Egyptians and Arabs aren't black folk in the artwork. You can just Google backed. You know what? Never mind. Let's just continue.
Pivotal moment that shaped the course of Nubian history and echoed through the centuries in the annals of slave trade and international relations. As we reflect on the Back Treaty, its implications and its lasting impact, it beckons us to ponder a crucial question. How do the decisions and agreements of our past continue to influence the fabric of our present society? Share your thoughts in the comments section.
Well, all right. So I think that's all of everything I wanted to show. But also right here at the Met Museum in New York, they always talk about the Met Museum, the Met Museum. Yeah, and for the museum, I'm not making this shit up. This shit is in the Met Museum I got. And what does it say? Nubian tribute presented to the king, tomb of Hui, because it's in tomb of Hui, but they're paying tribute to King Tut. Okay, so it's a Nubian tribute presented to the king, Nubian tribute, and we tell you a tributary state is what? Is a pre-modern state in particular type of subordinate relationship. Subordinate relationship to a more powerful state which involve the sending of regular token of alliance or tribute to the superior power. It took the form of substantial transfer of wealth, such as delivery of gold, produce, or slaves. I'm giving you factual information nobody will ever give you. This is a challenge to Jabari. Go through this video and try to refute one thing I said. I need you also, Jabari, to answer the question. Why didn't why did Arabs and Egyptians only call black people or land of the blacks people in Sudan and further south in sub-Saharan Africa? They call no other peoples, no other nations black or land of the black except anyone in sub-Saharan Africa. Can you answer that common sense? Can you answer that logic, Jabari? Common sense. Let me read a few questions before we get out of here. Maybe somebody asked me a question. Would you say Dr. Banoob never trust Muslims because they are allowed to lie and practice? Now, I don't have no issue with Muslims. I was just speaking of the history, but I hear what you're saying. Would you say, Dr. Banoob, I'm on point? Thank you, sir. It's crazy. I find it puzzling that Jabari, whose ancestors were Queen Nzinga's slaves who were sold to the Dutch in Guyana, so how could Jabari claim to be an Egyptian priest? Crazy. What you say? I'm cooking with lard. I'm cooking with that Cape Buffalo tallow, bison tallow. Oh, hilarious. You goddamn right. So, family, um, what's good, Thurman? I'm back in my lane. I'm back to doing my thing and focused on Chief X and getting this truth and this information out here. I ain't got time for no other fucking peons or nothing else. Um, So I just wanted to drop that, and I appreciate y'all showing up. Good, I'm under hour. Let's go Rams. West Side. I'm out of here.